Hello dear students, today we will discuss harm principle. So let's start the class and the discussion. Dear students, when we talk about freedom, then we also feel that there must be some necessary restrictions on every individual in a society to maintain equal balance amongst the freedom of every person. So when about we talk about the restrictions, there are some questions. What restrictions should be imposed and up to what limit the restrictions should be imposed. So these things are very eloquently described by John Stuart Mill in his essay on liberty. In his essay, he made a quotation. So let's have the quotation. That is, the sole end for which mankind are warranted, individually or collectively, in interfering with the liberty of action of any of their number, is self protection. That the only purpose for which power can be rightfully exercised over any number of a civilized community against his will is to prevent harm to others. So, dear students, if we have explanation of this quotation, then in this quotation, Mill says that there may be two types of actions. First, the actions which are done by any actor and they affect only the actor, not to the other persons. And second actions, the actions whenever they are performed by the actor, they affect other people also. And he also provided some ideas for the implementation of restrictions on these two types of actions. And he suggested that the actions which cast their actions on only performer, not on the other persons of the society, must not be restricted anymore, as they cast no effect on the life of other, on the freedom of others, and in this type of action, there can be said that that is my business. I will do what I like. It means the actor can perform those actions which had no effect on others according to his own, whatever he want and how he want to perform those actions. And we talk about other type of actions which affect other people of the society also. There may be some types of legal and social restrictions. He suggested that there are some actions which cause very little or very minor harm to others. Like when we play music at loud speed, then it creates some problem for others, as the other people who live nearby us feel hardship in listening or talking, or they are unable to sleep, or they are unable to concentrate in their studies. So these are the actions which must be restricted by social bondings, not by legal or any police action. And if any action that is very serious or it is casting serious effects on others, then it must be prevented by legal authority or the intervention of police must be taken there. So there are two types of actions. First one, making effect on the actors only, and second one, making effects on other persons too. And out of these actions, there may be very some actions which cause a minor effect on others, and other type which can cause serious effect on others. The actions which cause minor effect on others must be restricted by social bondings, social laws, and the serious one must be restricted by any law or state, and they must also have some legal punishment. So, in next, people should be ready to tolerate different ways of life, different points of view, and different interests as long as they do not cause harm to others. That's why people must be ready to face different type of interests, different type of point of views, different ways of life, up to the limit they do not harm others. But such tolerance need not to extend to views and action which may put people in danger, foment hatred. Okay, but these actions must not be accelerated which can put people in danger, foment or hatred against them. So here is one more example. If any person is campaigning or making hate speech or hate campaigns, then previously it must be warned, it must be restricted by the social bondings, social laws, and the person who is making hate speech must be warned first time, and if he doesn't stop making hate speeches, hate campaigns, then he must be punished by some legal activity, legal law, as it is affecting the community, the life of others, freedom of others, not the freedom of himself only. In the constitutional discussion in India, the term used to such justifiable constraints is reasonable restrictions. And the Constitution of India also have provisions for such type of justifiable constraints. And in Indian Constitution, the word used for these constraints is reasonable restrictions. So reasonable restrictions or constraints are the same meaning or having the same meaning. The restrictions may be there, but they must be reasonable. And according to Indian Constitution, there may be some restrictions on the freedom of people, on the freedom of society, but all those restrictions must be reasonable, not unreasonable, capable of being defended by reason or not excessively, not out of proportion to the action being restricted, since then it would impinge on general condition of freedom in society. All the restrictions must be reasonable, all the restrictions must be quite justifiable, as we noticed during COVID-19 lockdowns. the people were prevented to move anywhere freely according to Sanction 144, though it was a quite reasonable restriction applied by the government, as it was affecting the life of citizens of India. So there must be reasonable restrictions, not unreasonable. We must not develop a habit of imposing restrictions, since such a habit is detrimental to freedom. But we must not develop the habit of imposing restrictions on others. When we are head of family, we should consider this point. We must not impose too much restrictions on others, as it is detrimental, it is very harmful for the freedom of other members. So dear students, in this class we studied harm principle, and in the next class we will discuss negative and positive liberty. So dear students, till then keep watching this video, watch this video from the beginning till end, keep learning and take good care of yourself. Thank you for watching this video.